Once upon a time, in a magical night sky full of wonders, there was a tiny star named Little Star. Little Star was a curious and brave soul who dreamed of exploring the vast universe beyond its place in the inky blackness above our world. Every night, Little Star would look up at the endless expanse of space and wonder what lay beyond the familiar constellations. It had heard tales from wandering comets about far-off galaxies, swirling nebulas and planets made of cheese, and Little Star's heart yearned to see it all for itself. One evening, as the moon hung like a silver sickle in the sky, Little Star couldn't contain its excitement any longer. "I want to go on an adventure," it declared to its friends, the Pleiades sisters, who were nestled close by in their little cluster. "I want to travel through the galaxy and discover all the wonders it holds." The Pleiades sisters gasped in surprise. "Oh, Little Star, you can't just go wandering around the galaxy," said Alcyone, the eldest of these sisters. "It's too big and dangerous. What if you get lost or run into a black hole?" But Little Star was determined. "I won't be alone," it said, puffing out its chest. "I'll bring you along," and with that Little Star took off into the star-studded expanse, with the Pleiades sisters trailing behind in awe and a little bit of fear. Their first stop was a nearby comet, whose tail was streaking across the sky like a silver ribbon. "Excuse me," called Little Star, "but could you tell us where we could find some planets? We'd like to have a look around." The comet swished its tail back and forth in amusement. "Well, hello there, Little Star. Fancy meeting you here? Of course, you can visit the planets. They're just beyond that cluster of stars. But do be careful. Some of them can be quite fierce." With a grateful nod, Little Star and its friends continued on their journey until they came upon a gas giant so massive it made Little Star feel like a tiny speck of dust. "Wow," breathed Little Star, awestruck by the planet's colossal size and swirling bands of color. "This is amazing. Just imagine being able to orbit around it." Suddenly, a rainstorm of icy particles began pummeling them. "Oh dear," squeaked Little Star, shivering. "We need to get out of this storm before we freeze." Together, they navigated through the tempest until they reached the other side of the planet, where a blanket of darkness awaited them. "How are we supposed to fly in this darkness?" whispered one of the Pleiades sisters, her usual cheerfulness dimmed by fear. "Don't worry," said Little Star, determined to be brave. "I'll light the way," and with that Little Star emitted all its might, sending out a brilliant beam of light that pierced through the darkness. As they flew on, the light from Little Star began to fade, and they found themselves plunged into darkness once again. "Oh, no," cried Little Star. "My light isn't strong enough. We'll never make it out of here." Just then, a shooting star streaked across the sky, leaving a shimmering trail in its wake. "Excuse me," called Little Star, hoping for a rescue. "Could you help us? We're lost in the darkness, and we don't know how to get out." The shooting star hovered nearby, its light gentle and kind. "Of course," it said softly, "I'll guide you out of this darkness." With the shooting star leading the way, they emerged from the darkness, and into a breathtaking sight before them lay a field of sparkling planets, each more beautiful than the last. Little Star and its friends had stumbled upon the most spectacular sight in the cosmos, the Jewel Nebula. "Oh, my," whispered Little Star, in awe. "It's so beautiful here. All these planets are just like scattered jewels across the sky." One planet in particular caught Little Star's attention. It was smaller than the others, with a faint glow that reminded Little Star of a campfire. As they approached, Little Star could hear a faint, crackling sound. "Hello?" called Little Star, hesitantly. "Is anyone there?" A moment later, a friendly face appeared above the planet's surface. "Well, hello there," said the face. "Come in. Come in. I've been expecting you." And with that, Little Star and its friends landed on the planet, where they were warmly welcomed by the crackling man, who turned out to be the guardian of the Jewel Nebula. He told them about his duty to protect the nebula from harm, and about the shooting star that had brought them to him, praising its bravery and kindness. "The shooting star has done well to bring you here," he said, his voice echoing with wisdom. "For here in the Jewel Nebula, you will learn some very important lessons." At that moment, a mischievous voice piped up from behind a nearby rock. "Who? Me? Oh, hello there. Didn't see you right away. I'm the tricksy Moonbeam, and I live here in the Jewel Nebula. Want to play a game of hide and seek?" Before Little Star could answer, the Moonbeam zipped away, leaving them in giggles. As the game continued, Little Star noticed something strange. The Moonbeam seemed to be avoiding the crackling man, and when it saw him, it would quickly hide away. Curious, Little Star decided to investigate. It flew over to the crackling man and asked him why the Moonbeam was afraid of him. "The Moonbeam doesn't understand the importance of my task here," the crackling man said sadly. "He thinks it's just a game. But without my protection, the nebula would be in danger." Little Star felt a pang of sympathy for the lonely, crackling man. It realized that the Moonbeam needed to understand the value of friendship and kindness. So, with a determined twinkle in its eye, Little Star set out to teach the Moonbeam a valuable lesson. It flew around the nebula, showing the Moonbeam all the wonders it held: the sparkling planets, the dancing comets, and the playful asteroids. And then it led the Moonbeam to the crackling man, who was watching them from afar. "See, Moonbeam," said Little Star. "The crackling man is our friend, and he needs our help to protect this place. If we all work together, we can do so much more than if we're alone." The Moonbeam looked from Little Star to the crackling man and back again. It realized that it had been selfish and unkind, and it felt a surge of remorse. "I'm sorry," it whispered, its voice filled with regret. "I didn't know that you needed our help. I'll do whatever I can to help protect this place." And so the Moonbeam became the crackling man's new apprentice, learning all about the importance of duty and friendship. Together, they stood guard over the Jewel Nebula, making sure it remained a safe and happy place for all. As the night wore on, Little Star knew it was time to head home. It had learned so many valuable lessons during its adventure, but it also missed its cozy spot in the sky above our world. With a heavy heart, Little Star and its friends prepared to leave the Jewel Nebula. They said goodbye to the crackling man and the Moonbeam, promising to visit again soon. Then they started their journey home, flying past the planets and shooting stars, each place reminding them of the wonders of the galaxy. When they finally arrived back at their place in the sky, the Pleiades sisters were filled with gratitude. "Oh, Little Star, thank you for taking us on this adventure," said Maya, one of the sisters. "I've never seen anything so beautiful." Little Star beamed with happiness. "You're welcome," it said. "I'm glad you enjoyed it, too." From that day on, Little Star wasn't content to just sit in the sky and twinkle. It shared stories of its adventures with the other stars, inspiring them to follow their dreams and explore the galaxy. And whenever the night sky grew dark and lonely, Little Star's tale of bravery, friendship, and wonder would light up the darkness, reminding everyone that even the smallest star can have the biggest adventures.